I'm very honored to be here today and to be a part of this amazing tradition, this institution of TED and TEDxTraverseCity. And I want to thank you all for participating in this marvelous circulation of solutions that we very much need in this time and place. I want to thank all the organizers. Yeah. And I want to send a special shout out of gratitude to a couple people out there. One of my mentors, Sally Van Vleck, the director of the Nitawana Research and Education Center. And a young person that I've had the honor of mentoring for the last 10 years, Mr. Ben Kolk. This place, the Milliken Auditorium, it's hallowed ground for me because this was the nexus of the Great Lakes Bioneers Conference for the 10 years that we did it here. And Bioneers, like TED, it is a circulation of solutions. It was a conference, the world's leading conference at the crossroads of social justice and environmental activism. And the Great Lakes Bioneers was the first of many satellite conferences across the world. The most powerful moment for me in those 10 years of participating in Bioneers was when another mentor of mine, Bob Russell, took the stage to deliver a keynote speech right here toward the end of his battle with cancer, and he talked about resilience. So I'm going to draw on what I learned from Bob and talk to you about resilience and also about creative empowerment. But first, I want to play a song for you. This is called Being This Being. What do I need? I know I got it somewhere. What do you need? You know you got it in there. He says he knows what you need better than you. But he don't know you like I do, and I don't know you like you do. What you are is right here, where you at. You know you got it in here. What it is what it is. What it is what it is. That's it. Being this, being this, being this, being this, being. You can sing that with me if you want. Being this being. Being this, being this, being this, being this, being. One more time. Being this, being this, being this, being this, being. Thank you. So resilience, picking it up. Resilience is the ability to absorb shock and maintain function. So resilience is something we can apply to ourselves. It's also a scientific framework that's being applied all across the world right now. It's very relevant in the 21st century. It's great because it acknowledges that there will be disturbances, there will be giant shocks to the system, but it's solution-oriented. So it deals with possibilities. And the young people that I've introduced this concept to have really latched onto it because the youth generation right now understands that catastrophic conditions are part of their inheritance. But when you present a framework for solutions and for proactive problem solving that encourages engagement, it's very powerful stuff. So some of the concepts within resilience that I'd like to share with you are social ecological systems, governance, and adaptation, adapt to survive, engage to disarm, Governance is something really powerful to me because it's the reality of the way decisions are made, the way things get done in communities. And a lot of times, people sort of have this default of allowing government to have that responsibility. But truly, all aspects of society collaborate to create the reality of our communities as we know it. So the people in this room are going to have a whole lot to say about the way this region looks in the next 10 years, 20 years, in the next century. And that's a wonderful thing. And we see leadership with youth. We see leadership in the private sector. We see leadership with all kinds of institutions within our communities. And that's governance. And it's not easy. It's hard to figure out how to be at a table with people that you don't agree with, and to listen, and to know how to de-escalate conflict and be a good neighbor. I found that bringing cookies to meetings helps. But these are skill sets that are very important in the 21st century, and it's very important for us to bring young people into this work. Social ecological systems. So for a lot of the last couple centuries, we've sort of separated the environment and our society. We've sort of placed a lot of the problems that come from the form of economics and the form of capitalism that we've pursued off to the periphery. And a lot of those problems have come front and center now, especially to the youth generation. So the idea of finding out what drives the economy has been a big topic of conversation. You know, innovation drives the economy, marketing drives the economy. But in reality, ecosystem function drives the economy. And when you have an economic system that's based on a lie, based on the assumption that we have infinite natural resources to exploit and infinite capacity to grow our economy, you have a situation like we have right now where violence has been brought down on our ecological systems in the name of profit to a point of forced threshold being breached and new solutions being necessary. So in some ways, it's a catastrophe. In a lot of other ways, it's an opportunity for all of us to get very creative and to embrace ourselves as visionaries and to engage young people in that work too. The other thing that drives the economy is the workers of the world. So marrying social and ecological systems is important. Social ecological systems. So when we have these problems front and center, the failure of free market, neoliberal, unbridled racial capitalism as a very serious thing that we funneled so much of human ingenuity and so much innovation into. And when I think about my own child and the children that I work with, I think about how serious it is for them to be able to inherit something that's not exploitive, but something that's regenerative, and how wonderful it is for us to live in a time of possibility like we've never seen before on Earth. We've never seen the ability for us to affect change and the necessity for us, and the change that's occurring is happening so quickly right now that a lot of old wisdoms are resurfacing. So we look at, the congratulatory aspects of achieving success through the measured short-term profit margins that we've had for a while, and when that leads us to a collapse of social ecological systems, we see the folly in it. We see the fact that it doesn't have the wisdom and the intelligence that we need. But if we go back long before our fascination with markets and economics, we see that humans have a tendency to honor our elders, and we have a tendency to take care of our children. And for many millennia, we've had a sense of ancestral support, and we've also had a sense of the importance of making decisions that support future generations. And right now, if we can get through the collapse that's right in front of us, and we have to face it, and we engage youth and we engage collaboration between generations, and we receive the creative empowerment that's being called out to us from our ancestors for the future generations, we can make it through, and resilience is a big piece of that. So I'm going to sing another little song for you. These walls will fall around me, these rains I will remember, trying times I've weathered, but I will not wither. I'm a survivor. If I could go back in time, I'd be more grateful, less hurtful. Though the madness thickens and the static hum surrounds, in the call, the calm surrender, quietude resounds. I'm a survivor. If I could fly up to the moon, I'd hold up a mirror when I got there. More light, more sound, more common ground, more questions, more time together through seasonal weather. The night will fall around us. Yesterday's way has left us here, wondering in this world, a strange new place. I'm a survivor. If I could help you thrive, mystery might keep me alive to stay another day. I'm a survivor. And I'm only heading in one direction. Thank you so much. So in closing, I just want to acknowledge, in looking at human nature, there's so much to love. And when we're stuck in a system that encourages greed and encourages some of our baser natures, it's hard for us to be ourselves. It's hard for us to connect to our ancestors and to know how to fuel the children. But right now we have the opportunity, like I said, to be empowered creatively, to be visionaries, and to walk together gently and powerfully into a future that will co-create. So we're all little creators in a big creation, and we're writing a new story together, and it requires all of our participation. Thank you.